How to choose an international business lawyer. If you're contemplating taking your business global, whether by selling products in other countries, opening a new factory overseas, or selling international franchises, you probably need an international business lawyer. An international business lawyer knows what licenses you'll need and how the laws of other countries will impact your business decisions. To choose an international business lawyer, research several candidates and interview at least 3 so you can find the one best suited for the present and future needs of your growing business. Part 1: Searching for candidates. 1. Ask colleagues for recommendations. If you know anyone in your line of business who has recently done work overseas and hired an international business lawyer, ask them who they used and if they would recommend them. Recommendations from people whose judgment you trust often are your strongest leads. This is especially true if you talk to people whose businesses you admire. You also may be able to find good recommendations by talking to people in your local chamber of commerce or any trade organizations of which you might be a member. Other professionals with whom you do business, such as accountants or brokers, also may have recommendations. These professionals work with attorneys on a regular basis and can give you the names of some individuals and firms with strong reputations. 2. Evaluate the needs of your business. How well an international business lawyer will work for you depends on where you anticipate expanding your business and the challenges presented there. Many international business lawyers focus on particular parts of the globe. If you're planning on expanding into Europe, an international business lawyer who focuses on China and speaks Mandarin won't do you much good, even if she is the best at what she does. Focus on transactional rather than litigation attorneys. Assuming you haven't been served with a lawsuit, you don't need a litigation attorney. A transactional attorney can make sure you get the licenses you need and draft your contracts correctly so that you won't need a litigation attorney, either now or in the future. Attorneys who speak the language of the country or countries in which you want to operate can be particularly helpful, especially if the area doesn't have a high percentage of English speakers. Additionally, keep in mind that it is seen as a sign of respect in many countries if the attorney speaks the native language, rather than expecting others to speak English as a second or third language. 3. Search online directories. The American Bar Association (ABA) and state bar associations have searchable online directories of their members that allow you to search by practice area. While this is a broad search, it can help you pinpoint attorneys or firms to look at more closely. State and local bar associations can help you find attorneys working in your area. However, if your business is located in a small town or rural area, you may need to expand your search to the nearest large metropolitan area to get a good selection of international lawyers. Try searching in cities that have international airports. The ABA's national directory may be more helpful, particularly if you want to choose an attorney and firm that offer a wide range of services or have practiced in many different parts of the world. 4. Investigate attorneys' background and experience. Once you've found the names of some attorneys or firms in which you're interested, research their background thoroughly so you have a solid understanding of their achievements and reputation. You often can learn a lot about an attorney by looking at the firm's website. Typically, the website includes information for the attorneys who practice in that firm, including their backgrounds, specialties, and years of experience. You also can get an idea of the size of the firm and where its offices are located. Depending on how deeply involved you plan on being in another country, you may prefer an attorney whose firm has an office in the same country or at least the same region of the world. Attorneys and firms as a whole may have a list of representative clients, as well as deals they've brokered and other details about their work. Compare these to your own business and needs to see if you would fit in well with what the firm has done in the past. You also want to consider the layout and design of the website. If you hire this attorney, the firm's website will become part of the face of your business, so you don't want it to reflect poorly on you. Part 2: Interviewing strong contenders. 1. Schedule your initial consultations. Consult with your business partners and, based on your research, choose at least 3 attorneys with whom you want to meet and discuss your business needs. You typically will have to pay a flat fee of a few $100s for each initial consultation, so build this into your budget. If the attorney requests any documents or other information, make sure you send them well in advance of your appointment so the attorney has time to look them over before the meeting. Evaluate the attorney's response time while you're in the process of scheduling an initial consultation. This can give you some insight into how responsive the attorney will be if you hire him or her to work with you. If you attempt to schedule an initial consultation and the attorney doesn't get back to you within the week, or isn't available for another month or so, consider finding someone else to interview. An attorney who is that busy is sending you a message they don't need your business. 2. Gather information about your business. At the initial consultation, each attorney likely will want to know the basic background of your business, your plans for expansion, and why you need the services of an international business lawyer. In some ways, you may want to treat these interviews the same way you would treat a meeting with an investor. You're planning on growing and expanding your business overseas, so you want the attorneys you interview to understand and be on board with your goals. If you have any feasibility studies that have been done regarding the market overseas, or samples of your product, you may want to bring those along with you to these initial consultations so you can give the attorneys a better feel for what you have to work with and what you're planning to accomplish. 3. Ask each attorney questions about their practice and work habits. To choose the best lawyer for your business, you need to understand the types of clients each attorney has, how they manage their workload, and their basic communication style. Keep in mind that you need to hire the best attorney who also will fit seamlessly within your organization and the way it currently operates. If the attorney will be working primarily with someone on your leadership team other than you, bring that person with you so he or she also has the opportunity to ask the attorneys questions. Generally, you want to know what types of work the attorney handles primarily, and what aspects of that work are delegated to associates or other team members. You also shouldn't be afraid to discuss finances, particularly if you have a relatively tight budget. If an attorney is enthusiastic about your product and your company, he or she may be willing to work with you to ensure the representation will be affordable. You can trust that a good international business lawyer will understand the challenges of an expanding business, and will recognize that not every client is going to be a Fortune 500 company with millions of dollars to spend on attorneys' fees. 4. Observe each attorney's demeanor. Because you potentially will be spending a lot of time with your international business lawyer and working very closely, you want to make sure you're comfortable with him or her. Ask about the attorney's communication style, particularly if having an attorney who responds promptly is important to you. Find out how long it typically takes each attorney to return phone calls or emails, and which method of communication they prefer. You also want to focus on the level of attention the attorney gives you while you're in his or her office, as this can give you some insight into how attentive he or she will be in the future. Watch the way attorneys answer your questions, particularly if they seem dismissive or try to brush off something that's actually very important to you. You want an attorney who will understand and take your goals seriously. Attorneys who frequently interrupt you, cut you off, or ignore your questions may be too aggressive and value their own ideas and interests over what you want and what you believe is best for your company. Be wary of hiring an attorney who seems as though they'll second-guess your strategies in a dismissive way. 5. Evaluate the tone and mood of the office. The atmosphere in the office often can give you a good idea of how the attorney works with other people as well as the values and priorities of the firm. While working at a law firm is stressful, the people you see working in the firm should seem relatively comfortable and engaged in their work. Think twice about hiring an attorney who is rude, disrespectful, or dismissive of colleagues and staff. A transactional attorney has to work well with others, and someone with that sort of attitude may not be the best choice for your business. Part 3. Making your final choice. 1. Consider the cost of each prospect. Although cost shouldn't necessarily be your primary concern, the fees of the attorney you choose shouldn't be so high that they bloat your budget and inhibit the growth of your company. Keep in mind that any cost assessments offered in an initial consultation are, at best, estimates, and are always subject to negotiation. For example, if there's an attorney you're really excited about but you're worried about her fees, shoot her a phone call or an email to discuss the situation. If she's just as excited about your company, she may be able to work something out. 2. Compare and contrast the attorneys you interviewed. The easiest way to comparatively evaluate the attorneys with whom you spoke is to write a list of factors you need in an attorney and then assess how well each attorney will be able to provide them. Although you have objective criteria by which you're comparing the attorneys, your evaluation of those criteria will necessarily be subjective. Different criteria will have different priorities. Keep in mind that just because an attorney lines up perfectly on paper doesn't mean he or she is necessarily the best person to hire. If you find yourself repeatedly disagreeing with your paper assessment, you may want to take a look at and readjust your criteria. At the same time, however, don't be afraid to go with your gut. If you felt better about one interview than you did the others, that probably is the attorney to go with. 3. Talk the matter over with your business partners. After you've made a tentative choice for an international business lawyer, you may need to consult with your business partners and present your findings. If one attorney you favor has some disadvantages relative to the others, these are things that you and your business partners need to assess. Your business partners also may be able to help you reassess the relative weight you placed on various factors of the representation and identify what's really important in finding an international business lawyer. It also may be that you have someone who would work perfectly now, but recognize that you'll need to hire another attorney down the line when you expand your business to other areas. If, after speaking with your business partners, you have follow-up questions for one or all of the attorneys you interviewed, reach out to them before you make your final decision. When you have decided who you want to hire, make sure you call the other attorneys you interviewed and let them know you decided to hire someone else. It's an important professional courtesy. 4. Request a draft retainer agreement. When you've made your final decision, get a written copy of the attorney's retainer agreement and read it over thoroughly before you sign it and allow the attorney to get started on working for you. You probably want to schedule a meeting with your new attorney, in your office if at all possible. Have your attorney explain the retainer agreement to you and your business partners so everybody understands it before the agreement is signed. You also can work on the first steps your attorney will take after being hired. For example, if your international business lawyer is going to work with you to get an export license, he or she should be able to explain the steps to you and give you an estimate of when the license will be available.